Alright, greetings and welcome to a live tour of myself. Well, you probably know me for live streaming playing FSX, and this time I've decided to give you a live tour because I'm freshly out of ideas for the time being of what I want to do. And, of course, for those who had seen me fly the Vertavia F-105 Thunder Chief, I'm halfway down the column on my traditional logbook. However, I got 5 more to go till I do actual missions. Or at least I think so anyway. But today we're looking at the factual location of where I film. Well, that's where I live, right here. And not to mention that I live adjacent to the open spaces, and if you can see where my iPad is, in the general area where it's pointed, if you could see it, that's where the fire happened. Yes. Because I was thinking to live stream the next day when that fire occurred in my neighborhood. But today I decided to be a little more leisurely. Or sometimes I might do this because one of the reasons why I'm choosing to do this live stream video right here without any gameplay is because I want to show you there is an actual factual human being and not a robot who's playing FSX. So here I am, I'm in FSX, I will get an error. But whatever my heart desires, I go ahead and fulfill it anyway because getting what you want can actually be good for you. Such as me live streaming on FSX, especially in this weather, because show that I could cook this. And I've been able to, especially because I played FSX before. I never really thought of publicizing my gameplay. So now to publicize my gameplay, you might have seen me fly through clouds. And we're gonna go walk around here in Duke City. And believe it or not, I'm actually in the location of Duke City. I live in an excellent neighborhood. And right there is the Sandia Mountains. And if you could see the antennas, or unless you're familiar with Duke City, that's where I get the signals for my live stream. And of course, one of the reasons why I want to make a living out of playing FSX, and please help me do so, is because of this. I need daylight in order for my live streams to work properly. Because on the Sandia crest, if you could see there, unless you saw already, I'm gonna show you one thing. Right behind me is, and if you see needles up there, means that please help support my channel, even if it means just $1 or something like that. And the reason being is because, believe it or not, you need other sources of income in order to live. And yes, you have to have multiple sources of income in order to live. And believe it or not, I've chosen multiple YouTube channels for that, for one thing. They're not going to be enough though, but if you could help me, support my channel, please, by donating at least $1. I'm not going to make you, but it's at your discretion to do so. It would really help because, for one thing, computers break down, and of course you could also support my channel by taking home an affiliate item. Now remember, the support for my channel is your call and your call only. Even if it means leave it to a friend, family, or acquaintance of yours, or strangers. If you want to donate, like I said, at least $1 US, great. You want to donate more? Great. Because, like I said, I know I say this a lot, in order to live, you need other sources of income because just one job is not going to do. So that's why I have multiple YouTube channels, so please feel free to support them as well. And on my self-help channel, I will put links. I'm sorry to sound like a panhandler right now, it's just that, like I said, in order to live, how many sources of income do you need? And anyway, here we go. Once again, we're going around the house where I live stream out of, and Sandia Crest. Like, what is up there in order for me to live stream, and why is the daylight so important? Okay, I'll tell you why the daylight's so important. is because the signals are better. And I want to beat that weather in real life. Now, in the simulator, it's one thing because I could customize the weather, time and date to however I want it to be. But in real life, that's probably not going to be good because, for one thing, I'll tell you this. It could knock the power out while I'm in the middle of a live stream. Oftentimes, live streams get interrupted either because I'm careless with the computer, because, I might just be lazy, and of course, not too careful, and I turn the computer off on accident. I ram the plug or the power strip sometimes. Okay. I guess it was my turn to do some exploration of something and to really find out who I am. And not to mention that you got to be found out. Anyway, okay, it seems as though that's twice now that I've disconnected. And I suppose it's a good thing I chose to do this live stream anyway, despite a few disconnects, because I suppose that it's a good thing I fulfilled these desires of my heart. Mainly because it's good to find things out. And I suppose I'm being found out by, of course, going through those reconnections. So I'm going to put the iPad down and, of course, tell you about a few things about me. Let's enjoy nature. Behind me. Okay, as you might have seen, I was in Duke City, and this is, of course, my first live interactive live stream without me doing any gaming. Because, for one thing, for the amount of time I've live streamed, I'm way over the grading period of what would be in a typical school year with Albuquerque Public Schools. And, of course, in Albuquerque Public Schools, the grading period is usually once every 6 weeks, at least for the high schools. Now, of course, I know I've done way over 6 weeks. I can't even count right now because if I try to figure it out, I'm probably not going to be good either way. But I'm trying to be as interactive as I can here, just to prove that there's a factual living being right here and not a robot who's been playing FSX. And above all, the point of this live stream here is to prove that there's an actual living being, not a robot. And of course, I thought to myself that when the grades are due, I'll do something like this. It looks like I went way past the grading period in APS, so I chose to go ahead and give you a live stream here. Or if anything, if I'm like fresh out of ideas, I will, of course, do live streams here because, for one thing, I'm desiring to make a living off of YouTube and using multiple YouTube channels like my FSX channel. And some of the steps are, in order to make that happen, is I have to do this. It's either a live stream on the game, upload a video, or I do a live tour of myself. Now, the reason why I say I'm giving you a tour is because I'm trying to get found out as best I can. And of course, I'm proving that this is an actual human being who's been live streaming on FSX this whole time. So here I am. Let me check the chat box, speaking of which. Wow. Looks like no one wanted to chat. Alright, I'll keep it on live chat. Okay. There we go. When I play FSX streaming live, one of the reasons why I do it is because of YouTuber Air Force Proud 95. I mean, whatever you can't do in the real thing, it seems as though he does really good, even with his other players, to help keep certain behaviors out of the classroom. And I'm trying to emulate that, but in a more non-explicit way. And, well, of course, what I mean by non-explicit is, you know, you probably know me, I hardly ever cuss. I mean, I do sometimes when I play FSX, but it's this. You know, it's oftentimes by impulse when I cuss, but I try not to. Oh, got someone in the live chat. Come on. Hello back, Hero X Gaming. That's a YouTube user for how long that user's going to be here for. Hero X Gaming, hello. Let me get to you, all right? And the point of this live stream here is that I'm an actual living being. I am not, like I said, a robot. Free video you have, Hero X Gaming. Okay. Let me get to the live chat box. Ha! Good thing I'm spoiled here because, for one thing, if you have money and you choose to make a choice, this is what happens. You have an iPad, a phone, and a pod. That way, I could talk to you. Of Free Fire, Hero X Gaming. Come on, get me to the chat box. Well, I suppose I didn't feel like flying today, and it's not a good response. Well, of course, I have a good reason to why I chose to make this live stream off my FSX gaming channel. It's because, you know, I'm a real person, and not to mention that to play FSX, you could use either both a robot and or a real factual human being. Well, I thought to show you this whole time that there was a factual human being. Yes, a real factual human being who was playing FSX this whole time. He's not perfect, but he's doing it. Striving to make a living with YouTube and playing FSX. Okay. Hero X, please stand by. Alright. It's a nice day out here, and sometimes it's good to get away from the flight simulator for a little while. So I made this live stream here just to get away from the flight simulator for a little while, and I never really thought of giving it a live tour. And looks like if I'm out of ideas, I might give you a live tour or something like that. And of course, the weather, as you might have seen earlier, it's not very good. Or it's not going to be good in real life, because if I'm live streaming and Mother Nature happens to knock the power out, it's not going to be good. Now, playing Microsoft Flight Simulator X, I can make the weather as bad as I want it to be. Oh, Hero X Gaming, video is not coming loud? Oh, alright. Okay, now we'll try it. Also, I'm still pretty much new to live streaming. It's just that I'm giving actual attempts to try to get better at them. So, yes. Perhaps it's safe to say one thing too. This new stuff is not really good. So one of the reasons why I play FSX and want to make a living off of it is because of all those dreams I had to get paid for flying my whole life. Looks like to fly what I want to fly. I'll say this. The only way to live it out is playing FSX. Or at least Microsoft Flight Simulator X, you know? Because that's the best way to live it out. And I see that many people have made livings playing FSX as well as YouTube, so I'm going to go ahead and put my best foot forward in trying to make a living off of YouTube. And This happens to be one of them. Now what I'm really doing as well in this video is I'm trying to fix some scenery, because I suppose either way on FSX my scenery is going to look Roblox and Minecraft like, so I decided to go back to the 4X of Mega Scenery Earth, New Mexico and Colorado. But I have Utah and Arizona, but correction, for Arizona I have the regular version, but for the other 2 out of 4 corner states in the United States, I'll stand by on those. But for now I'll be using New Mexico and Colorado only for when I go flying for Mega Scenery Earth. And good grief, they just take forever to install. Especially because I'm fixing scenery from the time being I made this video. Oh, I'm sweaty. Sorry about that. You know, I'll say this. While the scenery is installing, I'll be making videos like this, for one thing, to show the YouTubers that I'm alive. And yes, I have still yet to go in order to make a living off of playing FSX. And of course, I want to show that I'm actually trying to get back into swing, into live streaming and or uploading more often. And once again, it is I who is, of course, live streaming this video and, of course, live streaming the flying this whole time. Not someone else for me. And let's see what the chat box has. HeroX Gaming says voice. HeroX Gaming. Alright, HeroX Gaming, I'm coming. I'll sub to you, just hold on. Okay, a little bit about me. Okay, come near the camera. I suppose I do that. Okay, well, I have a flower pot, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay, HeroX Gaming, how about now? Alright, so as of right now, I'm trying to appreciate nature, and that's why I have that big old tree behind me. Or those big old trees behind me is because, yeah, another thing is that it's good to be away from the cockpit for a while playing FSX. And of course, from live streaming whilst gaming. So basically, you know, I'm, of course, not flying today because of the fact that I kind of need to be away from that for a little while because I'm fresh out of ideas. I need a break just for a little while, and I need to show you that I'm a real person. I really am a real person who's making this video. Now for this length of time here, I'd probably be halfway to my destination and or somewhere in between there. So basically at this point, you know, I'd be landing wherever it may be and or struggling to land. Or I might be slewing a little bit and or a lot, bringing whatever I'm flying to a halt somewhere, and then going to one more thing. Which is supposedly something I'm going to do now. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go to one more thing. One more thing here is that the reason I make this video is because proving that I'm a real person and not a robot who was flying FSX this whole time. And of course, that's our show. We'll see you all around. If you like, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.